Hello, everyone. Phoenix Tremayne here, and I am here because with this Soap Fam special, because I wanted to share my thoughts on today's Days of Our Lives episode. Now, if you heard me in the member section on the live, as well as my soap spoilers for the week for Days of Our Lives, you know that I was really not caring about these upcoming episodes, especially after Friday's episode where I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel like the actors did a good job giving me the emotions that I needed to make me cry over characters I know that are going to be coming back to life. So I'm like, let's just get this part with them passing away out of the way so we can get to whatever adventure they're going to have in heaven or assignment they get from heaven so that they can come back to life. And then this episode happened Monday, January the 9th. Kayla passing away. Now, I didn't say this in the beginning, but please take the time if you haven't done so, hit that like button. Also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And if you're a member, you're watching this first. So you're already, going that extra mile for me by becoming a member. And so one of the perks is getting videos before anybody else gets to see them. So here are my notes because I took notes because I couldn't just do this one uh without notes. So first note, better reactions to Big K passing away, although there are still no tears shed. Now, if you've been watching my videos for the last week, I've talked about as a director, I've found different ways to help my actors cry on cue, whether it's putting a sharp rock in their shoe and they step on it and they feel that pain and it helps them, or if thinking about, a loved one or even a pet that has passed away that will help them bring those tears. Wasabi, um, saline, there's so many different ways if an actor can't cry on cue that you can get an actor to cry on cue. But when actors, especially these professional actors, have been doing it for so long, when they're getting paid good money and they can't drop a tear, I really it does nothing to me. That is not Emmy real worthy. So that's why this episode was so good because there's a various reactions of people. Because if I see them cry, then I know I'm going to get choked up or cry. And Mary Beth Evans did a great job as Kayla Brady Johnson. She had me on the edge of my seat. I kind of knew what was going to happen. I wasn't sure if this was the episode where she would pass, but oh my God, Mary Beth Evans and Stephen Nichols did such an amazing job this whole episode and made it feel real, really real. And when she told when she told Steve to check on Kate, I just knew he was going to come back and she was gone. So that's what I mean. Bob's on the edge of my seat, like, hurry back, Steve. I want you to be there when it happens. I don't want you to come back in the room and she's gone. When Kayla was saying she wanted to talk to her kids, this was one of the moments I was waiting for. It's understandable that Trip and Joey were just a phone call, but Stephanie was still in town. Then, as a writer myself, I really wanted Stephanie to get there too late because this leads to more dramatic situations. And if her getting there too late was caused by Alex, it also causes lots of drama in that relationship. So while I know a lot of fans always want the best outcomes, the more dramatic outcomes is what gets you an Emmy. You know what I'm saying? Is the more memorable scenes that fans have, even when they don't realize it. It's not just the good times, when these actors really pull through for these dramatic situations like today's episode, you can't help but love these characters more because you feel their pain. And then Billy Flynn didn't cry, but we know he can cry on cue. He is a great actor. He deserved, the Emmys he's gotten. But the look on his face remained heartbreaking. You could tell he was going for being shocked by the situation. I think that he probably would have cried if not all of the scenes he did with Abigail where he was crying when she, passed away. So I gave him a pass. I gave him a pass because I know he could do it. And even without crying, he had me in my feelings. At first, I was disappointed with Abigail Klein's reaction. Abigail Klein plays Stephanie because there was no tears. But then the next time we saw her, when they went to the next scene, she had the running mascara down her eyes. You had Steve crying. So of course I was crying too. Because before these other scenes had me choked up. But the tears really came down when with Steve and Kayla scenes, and then the Steve, Kayla, Stephanie not making it, that actually made me cry the second time. So Rex did cry. He had when he was on the phone telling Lucas, but it was at the wrong time. It should have been on Friday's episode. But he had one tear streaming down. So he gets a C for effort compared to these other actors. Kayla learning that Kate was gone was also a very good scene. Like I said, Mary Beth Evans and Stephen Nichols are some of the best actors on the show. And I really don't feel like they write enough for them. I think they're assets and should have regularly have their own storylines. Over 2020 and 2021, they did have some big storylines. They didn't have a lot to do, in my opinion, in 2022, except for the Beyond Salem. And I just want them to get more because they're such great actors. Kayla slipping away, wanting to see her mom and Bo was great. Realizing she can't hold on to see Stephanie was also heartbreaking to watch. It was very well done, and it should be on her Emmy reel. Deidre Hall, I thought she wasn't gonna pull it off because of the no tear situation I hate, but she was able to emote and get the job done. I will note that she started to tear up, but then the camera, went off, to the next scene. These episodes were made for Days of Our Lives, NBC. So it always have moments where it would have cut the commercial, and that's kind of what happened. So just as Deidre was in the zone about to, cry, shifted to another scene. It was also well written that Kayla tried to stay strong for Joey and Trip, pretending everything was going to be okay. At the end of the episode, when she found out about Kayla, I was waiting for her. I'm talking about Deidre Hall now. At the end of the episode, when Marlena found out about Kayla passing away, I was waiting for her to say, "I'm next." And then John holds her tighter. But that didn't happen because I'm not the writer. But, I really wanted Marlena to have that fear of the Grim Reaper to Kayla, and she was next. I really wanted her to have that moment with John, amping up the drama. Side note, Lauren Koslow, who plays Kate, was a little disappointing Friday and today because you can clearly see her eyes moving while they're closed. They shouldn't have had close-ups on her if she couldn't stop her eyes from moving. So every time you see a close-up with Kate, if you look at that scene, her eyes are just moving, and it sort of takes you out of the moment that she's supposed to be gone. And all these actors don't notice her eyes are moving. It took me out the scene. Also, a little disappointing, Robert Scott Wilson. I think he should have cried too. Even if it was realizing his relationship with Stephanie may be over when she realizes what he did, I think that would have been a good moment for him. But he just looked sad. Another non-crier was Josh Taylor, who plays Roman, but I gave him a pass because clearly he's had a facelift and possibly Botox. So I don't think that he could have cried if he wanted to. That's not negative. That's not a slight on him. That's just reality. But some saline would have been helpful in that moment. Brian, who plays Lucas, has never been a good crier, and his worst scenes are when his character's supposed to be upset. So he also didn't cry finding out his mother was gone. But mm, Brian Dattilo has better scenes when he's just being a good father, when he's, wanting Sammy. But when he's supposed to be upset, it don't look right. He's not good at upset scenes. And, you feel free to disagree with me, but he's not a bad actor. He's just not an actor with range. I don't think he has a good range. And you let me know in the comment section if you feel the same way. And Greg and Drake didn't cry either, so which is of course John and Eric. But I gave them a pass because I know they can. I know that they've got good acting chops and they've got good range. And for whatever reason, I think Drake's reason was he's being strong for Marlena, so he's not going to fall apart. But I felt like Eric, who's been emotionally all over the place, he just gave that, stare that he does and looking sad, like a sad puppy. But I would have, and I know he can cry on cue. I just wish that he did. So, and that's me. I know some of you don't care about the actors crying or crying on cue, any of that, but I'm a director. And when I direct my actors and they cannot cry on cue, it annoys me. And that's why those tricks I told you at the beginning of the video, I do everything I can to get them to give me the emotion that I needed to see for the scene. And it's not just for my productions, it's also for, um, big budget productions. So, and if you ever want to see my productions, you're going to be hearing more news on that because I do have a streaming service, and my streaming service is free, but I'm going to be promoting that probably in the spring. So you'll be hearing about and getting to see my productions later on. But for now, we're talking about Days of Our Lives, and I hope to see you in the next video. Let me know what you thought in the comment section. Thanks for watching.